Welcome to Festpod, the unofficial Download Festival podcast. I'm Neil Wilkinson. This is the place for news and rumours about the festival, advice for going, and your chance to get involved and ask your questions too. So now let's welcome my fellow hosts. First of all, we've got Lee Ellingham. Hello, Lee.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
And we've got Dave Kingdon as well. Hello, Dave.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
I'm very well in sunny Cornwall.
So find us on the socials by looking for Festpod, and you can even send us a voice message by going to anchor.fm/Festpod. And when I say anchor, that's anchor as in the big metal thing that holds a ship down. ANCHOR, anchor.fm/Festpod. And just click on message. Tell us what you think of the show, ask our advice about download, or just chime in with whatever you want. That's at anchor.fm/Festpod. And just click on message. So let's get started with download news. And the first story of the first episode is of the lineup being announced. We've got the first announcement of who's going to be playing at Download Festival in 2021. So, Dave, Lee, what do you reckon? What do you think to the lineup?
I like it. It's pretty much what we thought it was going to be. Obviously, being cancelled this year, we were all told that the bands that were supposed to be performing would get first refusal who plays next year. And the lineup is pretty much stuck to it, apart from obviously Iron Maiden dropping out.
Yeah, the headliners: Kiss, Biffy Clyro, System of a Down. You're obviously happy about Korn being there, aren't you?
Very much so, yes. The main highlights for me were Korn, Gojira, and Sleep Token.
Me too.
Obviously, you know full well I'm a massive Korn fan, so yeah, anytime they play, I'm happy.
I was very gutted about Maiden having to pull out, but Biffy's a good replacement. I think they're a pretty solid live band.
There's a lot of people who are not happy about this lineup.
Yeah, I put that down to it's the same old crowd that if it's not metal, it shouldn't be there sort. But I mean, the thing with Biffy Clyro, they sell tickets, regardless if you like them or not. They've sold tickets to tons of festivals around the country anyway, and they are, and even their headline shows they sell out. So I mean, you might not like them, but that's why there's 4 other stages and about 100 other bands to see. So
yeah, or you can get on the fun fair. You can go and have something to eat from one of the stalls. You can go and meet your mates.
Exactly,
it's a festival. There's so much else to do apart from go and see one band.
Yeah. And the negativity towards that one band, I find it's unnecessary. Like you say, there's so much other things to do. I mean, you can be disappointed, but I mean, you haven't got to be aggressively vocal about it.
I think in 2018, was it, when Guns N' Roses performed?
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in watching them. I'm not a fan, particularly. I mean, I know lots of people are. I know, Dave, you went to go and watch them, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw all of their set actually. It sounded better when I was there than it did when I rewatched it on the highlights. But it was enjoyable.
But
yeah, if I remember correctly, Neil, you and I, we had a wander around the festival, went up on the Ferris wheel and watched Slash's 20-minute solo from up there.
It's 20-minute solo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did.
That's what it felt like.
We had a nice time on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for when it got spun round quite quickly. Was it you that was quite scared of heights?
So I'm not scared of heights as such. I just maybe I am then. Because yeah, I was a bit like, stop spinning.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know, it was a nice alternative to watching from amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I could appreciate Guns N' Roses from the Ferris wheel, but I didn't really want to sit through their entire set.
I think I'd appreciate Kiss from up top there as well. Because again, if it's going to be, if all the everyone watched Guns N' Roses because they had to. The 3.5 hour set, and the crowd was obviously massive, and it's the same for Kiss. Then going back up there and seeing the whole crowd at the main stage is quite a sight.
Have you seen Kiss before, Dave?
No, I think I'll try and catch them, but unless there's a big gap on the second stage headliner for Friday, so it depends who that's going to be.
Yeah, we haven't got times released just yet, have we?
No.
I'd like to see Kiss because I've never seen them before, and that's the main reason. I'm curious about them. I've seen Iron Maiden numerous times, mostly at Download, and my curiosity is satisfied. I've seen them now, but I've never seen Kiss, so I'm quite pleased about them still being there. Anyone else pleased about?
Gojira, definitely.
So I saw Gojira 2018 at another festival, and
which festival?
Since then,
which festival did you go to?
Bloodstock.
Oh,
which is actually it was supposed to be this weekend, but they've done a virtual festival like Download did in June. So I saw them a couple of years ago there, and fell in love, I suppose you could say. And now I'm just very glad they were able to reschedule.
I'm really pleased that Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes are still on the bill, because I was gutted that I wasn't going to get to see them when Download got cancelled in 2020. And I thought, God, I was really looking forward to seeing them, but I'm so pleased that they'll be on Friday.
Did you know that they were actually double booked? So I looked into it. It's all fine now. He's officially, the Rattlesnakes have officially come out on Twitter saying they're playing Download on the 4th of June. But originally they were booked to play in Norway with Green Day and the Manic Street Preachers. They're definitely going to be at Download, which is lucky.
Yeah, that's great. So there's some great bands still. We've got most of the ones that were already lined up for 2020, but just a few that are not. But obviously that's going to be significant for some people who really wanted to see them. Like Iron Maiden. Some people love Iron Maiden, and there's nothing better.
I was looking forward to seeing Iron Maiden because, despite obviously I was there in 2016 when they last played, I left early. So I kind of missed the trick a bit. But I was hoping they'd play this year, but I'm not too gutted. They have got some amazing tracks that you can in a drunken state you can scream at the top of your voice and have a good time.
That's true.
I'm very gutted about the Offspring, actually.
Oh, the Offspring.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
that's the one I'm the most gutted out.
We've got Rise Against, so that's kind of a replacement, I guess. Similar sort of.
Do you know what? I've tried to listen to them, and I can't get into it. I don't like being negative about other bands. If you don't like them, you don't like them. But Rise Against, I've tried, and not my cuppa.
Yeah, that goes for anything, doesn't it? But there's so many bands that I'm just looking at the lineup now. So many bands that I'm pleased to see. Of Mice and Men, Daughtry, Airborne, Mastodon. There's so many that I'm just looking through here that you can't mention them all, but there's so many I'm pleased to see back on the lineup for next year. So looking forward to see them. Next, we have sold out a lot of tickets in RIP. If you're planning to go RIP, which if you're not aware of what RIP is, it's a sort of VIP tickets for Download Festival. Some sections have sold out, but they do have they release the tickets in waves, don't they? So I guess they're not releasing any more RIP tickets for Metal Meadow, Park Farm, Sleepy Hollow. They all seem to have gone, but there are still lots of RIP tickets available for the other places.
Yes, so I did a bit of digging this morning. They have officially sold out 1/3 of the RIP tickets, which it ranges from the sort of the Airstream sort of caravans, the classic bell tents, the yurts, cabins. There's still some of those available, but the ones that are 100% completely and utterly sold out is Park Farm and Sleepy Hollow for the pitch your own tent.
Yeah.
Which is what we're doing.
Yes.
And they've also sold out of the I can't pronounce this. I think it's called a Bedouin Mirage. A Bedouin.
Bedouin.
B-E-D. Do you know what? You have to look it up and have a look at yourself. I can't pronounce that.
Bedouin. Bedouin. What is that?
Do you know what? A Bedouin or a Bedouin? God knows. But they've sold out. So that was for 6 people. They've completely sold out of that. There's a steel suite for 2. They've sold out of that, and the luxury suites or Lux suites. They've sold out of those. So the one that I was really interested in was the 8-person tour bus.
Oh, I've not seen that.
It's in the ticket section. If you scroll down, you should see it. But I mean, if you've got 7 other friends, again, an 8-person tour bus to camp for the week, that sounds amazing to me.
It is literally a tour bus. It is a coach that you can book. Oh my God, this looks amazing. How is no one talking about this?
It might be new. It's the first time I'm seeing it. Then it's the first time I'm doing RIP. So this is like the first time I've sort of had a look into it.
Have you heard of this, Dave?
No.
Make the most of Download 2021 by becoming an RIP Metal Meadow guest. You'll get fantastic accommodation, weekend-long guest area access, plus a host of other benefits, including the RIP doggy bag of exclusive merchandise, proper toilets and hot showers. So basically, it's instead of a tent, you get RIP, but in a in a tour bus. It looks so luxurious. It's got a kitchen area with 2 microwaves, a kettle, a fridge, and a sink. Seating area with tables, entertainment area, TV, DVD, games.
I imagine that's the most expensive one they do then.
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Wow.
1,200, just short.
Oh my God. So if you've got
1,200 per person.
if you've got 1,200 quid just sitting there, just looking at the pictures on the website, it looks. You've got leather seats. All the tables have got like labels. You know, the sort of little band labels that you can get. Wow.
Yeah.
But you're not doing RIP, are you, Dave?
No, I'm just being a commoner this year.
A commoner.
slumming it with the peasants.
Yeah.
Normally, I do go. I must have been RIP more often than ordinary camping, because in 2016, when the heavens opened, I thought, do you know what? I don't need this. I don't need the rain, so I'm going to get myself a camper van for 2016, which is what I did, and I stayed in RIP.
Was it worth it?
It was absolutely. Well, I have to say, it didn't rain. But I was prepared. I was prepared for it to rain, but it didn't rain. But it was still nice to have, a comfortable bed and lockable.
That's funny though. The 2 years that you had the camper, it didn't rain. And then and then last year when you came back into general camping with us, it rained.
It was terrible.
You just got to keep spending money doing RIP, I think.
Yeah. If you're interested in seeing my vlog of those couple of years, they are available on the internet. Just search for Wilco Productions on Facebook, and the videos there. Wilco Productions on YouTube as well. Neil's Trip to Download is what it's called, and you'll see the Bumble camper, the yellow and black Bumblebee camper van that I used. Nothing, it's not luxury, but for Download it's luxury because it's got doors and a roof and windows. So but yeah,
there's no potential leaking, is there? Then, if it does rain, there's no potential leaking it if you sleep in the camper.
No, well, this is it exactly. But camper van tickets, they're like gold dust. If you don't get them as soon as they become available, then you've no chance really. which is a shame.
There's some available now. When I looked this morning, the camper van and camper van plus, there's still some available.
Is that in RIP?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been just the extras.
Yeah, because you can go in a camper van, but not RIP.
I see.
Behind the main stage, where all those caravans and camper vans are.
Yeah, that's the sea of campers behind there. Yeah, I know what you mean. Now.
Yeah, they're not RIP.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if you want RIP camper van, it's not a very big area, so you've really got to be quick. But I'd recommend going in a camper van if you can afford to, if you want to. It's a nice way to stay at Download, because if it does rain, you're protected.
Well, give me a few years. I'm looking to buy one, but not very soon, not the near future. But I'd like to get my own. I saw one of the electric Volkswagen style minibuses, those sort of things. I'd love to get one of them.
That would be amazing at Download, wouldn't it?
It looks proper futuristic.
Yeah,
like almost like it should be on Back to the Future. But
Back to the Future, yeah, exactly. I hope you can plug it in and charge it. That's the only thing.
Something to think about.
It is, well, exactly, yeah. So the next news story is the new layout that was announced a few months ago, which is a relief to me. What do you think of the new layout, Dave?
I'm really looking forward to the merch superstore. I'm a big fan of getting all the merch, and it'd be nice if they can put maybe like exclusive things from some of the bands, not just the headliners, but some of the undercard as well.
Is it going to be like a big shop, do you think? Just a big...
Yeah, I think it's going to be sort of similar to the Co-op, but just with T-shirts and patches and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, not just a big tent, but a proper, walls and a roof.
Yeah.
I do like a bit of merch.
Well, they've dubbed it the Download merchandise mega store. So just from that word alone, you'd imagine it's going to be the same sort of size as the Co-op, and almost have it's going to have a massive wide range of not just products from not just products from the headliners, but like you say, Dave, with the other bands and stuff as well.
Yeah, these changes they've been coming in waves, haven't they? They've been changing. I don't know if they've had to have a change of layout because of the airport, if that's right, something like that.
So around the actual site itself, they've been building housing estates as well as obviously the airport. So apparently, if you remember where the old ticket swap was, where you give your ticket in and obviously then you get in, apparently that was literally inches below the required headspace or airspace for the planes to take off.
Really?
So they sort of really squeezed it in. So they've had to. So if you remember last year, the queue was on the Tarmac Lake, which is where the village is for next year. So they moved everything west. But yeah, I mean, with the new village itself being on the Tarmac Lake, will mean there's going to be no massive mud lakes to walk through. There's going to be no muddy puddles to fall into or ruin your walking boots like I did last year.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't think that I would have minded the new layout that we had in 2019 so much if it hadn't absolutely pissed it down and the whole place was just covered in mud. If it had been dry and sunny, I don't think I would have minded the new layout quite so much. But I didn't really, because you didn't want to go into that new area where all of the shops were and stuff, because it was just a mud bath. And you couldn't really get in there, and it always seemed really quiet. And I spoke to a couple of stall owners, and they said they were going to be lucky to break even because not just the rain, but the mud. No one wanted to go down there.
Yeah, I can sort of empathise with them really. Like it's not. Yeah, if you're not, it was like you say. It was just like a massive mud lake. It was really difficult to sort of navigate. So yeah, like we did, we stayed in the campsite for most of the weekend. Obviously before the bands showed up.
Did you go in the? Did you have a look around the village at all, Dave?
I did, even after the torrential rain, but it wasn't a lot of fun trying to navigate all the way down the bottom.
No.
But it was very quiet there at the time as well, so I think most people had the same idea of just avoiding that area. But luckily next year it'll be fully or mostly tarmac. So
Yeah, I think it's the best thing they could have done. Absolutely.
yeah,
And all the car park is going to be in a different place, isn't it? It's going to be not far from the campsites.
I think the cinema is like enclosed as well in its own little foresty clearing. So
It's going to be in what's called the Kidney Wood. So yeah, they're going to put a massive sort of I say sheet. I use that term loosely. They're going to put like a massive sheet over the top of the trees. So obviously, so if it does rain, you're not going to be sat there soaking wet. But they're going to lie it all up. I think it's going to look really good. The whole new layout, I think, it's going to be the best thing they could have done in years.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I mean, we've got the maps. They've shown us maps of what it was going to be like for 2020, and I think all of us we're all thinking this is how it should have been forever. This is great. This is brilliant. So can't wait to see it in real life next year. Next, we'll get some advice about going to download in the guide. In this section, we'll try and answer your questions about what it's like to go to Download Festival, things that we recommend, and things to avoid. This week, the village. So what is the village then?
It's the village. Basically, it's what it sounds like. It's a large area with loads of different things, different bits and pieces in it that you'd need to happily survive a week away, I suppose.
it's like the heart of the campsites, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got your showers, your toilets, you've got shops with food. It's amazing, actually. It's huge. It's a huge. I mean, it's not like a town than a village because there's so much in there. There's lockers. What else is there?
You got a pub.
A pub, of course.
Air of the Dog. You got Air of the Dog, which sells obviously. It sells a few beers, spirits. I'm not sure I've ever seen wine in there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They've always got their own beer, which is Dave, you help me out here, man. I can't remember the name of the beer they have. It's something to do with the Download Dog.
It's not Dogtooth, is it? That's the name of the.
That's the fourth stage.
Yeah.
Dog brew. No. Oh, there's a good question. If you can remember, if you've been to Download before and you know, then get in touch with us, anchor.fm/Festpod, and click on message. What is the name? It's good. It's a good competition question, that's actually. What's the name of Download's own beer that they sell in the pub?
It's quite nice. I can't remember what it's called, but it was nice. I had a pint when the first year they started it. I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh, I think you've got to. It's the Download branded ale, so you've got to at least try it. It's like the Iron Maiden Trooper beer.
Oh
yeah.
You've got to give it a go once.
Have you tried that?
Trooper, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
as a sort of an ale traditional beer goes, it's all right.
So as well as all that, you've got a cinema in the village, which is not your traditional, go and sit down in a dark room type thing. It's just a big tent with a screen, and you sit on the grass and watch whatever they put on. They have all sorts on, don't they?
A lot of times they have like music-related films. So a few years ago they had Pick of Destiny, Tenacious D.
I've not seen that yet.
They've done Wayne's World and things like that.
They've even shown Star Wars. When the new ones started coming out, they had Star Wars on, and I remember I've never had an experience of Star Wars like I did watching it at Download, because we were all cheering for all the main characters. and and warning the characters, all shouting, "Don't go in there! He's got a gun!" Things like that. It was hilarious. It was so much fun, because if it's drink fueled, then it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Didn't they have Jurassic Park as well recently?
Oh, right.
I can imagine, again, like you say, like with a couple of drinks in you, that could be really entertaining.
That does sound like fun, actually. They show wrestling now. I think we watched wrestling at some point in the cinema.
We did. Yeah. That was the NXT UK, so which they do live anyway, actually in the arena. We got sort of the pre-show in the cinema to what was going to happen at the festival when NXT first came to download.
What have you bought in the village that you have thought, "Oh, I'm so glad I bought that"?
I can answer that.
Last year, go on, Dave.
It was 2016 or 17, and we were, even though obviously it's mid-June, at night times it was very cold. I remember the first night I was freezing, even with like my sleeping bag and stuff. So during the next day, I think me and Lee just had a trek around the village. I found this really, really nice blanket. Like, I don't think it was sheepskin, but it was like the fluffiest blanket I've ever seen.
Like a fleece.
Yeah. And that was amazing at night times, even though you think it would be hot. Obviously, just being in a tent outside, it gets cold at night. And that was a lifesaver.
Yeah, you don't realise, actually, just because you think, oh, well, it's summer, so I don't need to take a load of bedding with you. But actually, it gets freezing cold, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
What about you, Lee?
My lifesaver, I forgot my waterproof last year, stupidly, with all the rain. So having to go and, again, trek around the village, like Dave said, and find one, which you can. They've got stalls up there for, again, the like proper camping sort of stalls. Will have everything you need to survive the week. So yeah, I managed to find myself a big old camo waterproof, which I think looks cool. It kept me dry, kept me warm. Wouldn't recommend it in the actual arena where I can't put it down. It was very thick and very big. In the village, or in the campsites where you could dump it, I could dump it in my tent, and I wore it at night. Actually, Dave said it gets really cold, and I think I wore it during the night at one point.
That's the thing about it. The village is you could basically turn up with just your ticket and get everything you needed for a few nights of camping. Actually, in the village, you can get your tent, you can get your bed, you can get your duvet, you can get everything, food, the whole lot. And I bet people actually do that.
I would. I'm going. Obviously, we're doing the RIP experience for 2021, and I've been toying with the idea that I've been called mad for even thinking about. Literally turning up one day with the ticket and a bag full of clothes, and then trying to slum it with, and again, buying everything there and see how I get on. Saying it out loud, it sounds like a really bad idea, but I thought it'd be interesting.
It would be interesting and probably easier, but it would be so much more expensive. Yeah,
unfortunately, there's the festival tax. It's not an official thing, but it's almost on all your products. Everything's just a bit more expensive. Where you find a £4 pint elsewhere is now £5.50 pint at a festival.
But not everybody who goes to Download Festival can actually use the village, can they?
Can they not?
Well, people on day tickets can't use it.
Of course. Sorry. You're absolutely right. Yeah, if you buy a day ticket, you're pretty much only in the arena for the day where the bands are. Which I think if you want to do that, that's cool. Day tickets and arena only tickets are obviously available for those that don't want to camp. But I think there's a little bit missing from the whole experience of Download if you don't do the camping. Yeah. There is a lot going on that some people may not realise or think about at download for the Wednesday and the Thursday. There's so much going on that I think some people are missing out. But again, it's obviously a personal choice. For some people, just want to do the arena for the 3 days.
And with it being on tarmac for 2021, it's going to be a different experience for us all, because we're used to trudging through mud if it's been rainy. I mean, the mud at download, if it's been raining, is something else. It's like mud you've never seen before. And deep, because you've got thousands of people walking through it all with Wellingtons that they've had to hastily buy from the village for 20 quid.
That's another lifesaver. That I'm so glad that they're there. If you do get stuck like that, you can buy a pair of wellies. And I have to give a special mention and thank you to Dave, who bought me some wellies when my boots got so caked in mud they were unusable.
I think last year when with the rain, it started to dry off maybe on the Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember now, but the mud started to dry, and that made it worse because your foot would go into the mud, but you couldn't get it out again. So having village on tarmac next year will definitely be a big improvement.
I mean, if you get your foot stuck in the concrete, then there is something really wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So don't forget, you can ask us questions or give us your viewpoint about what we're talking about by sending us a voice message. Go to anchor.fm/Festpod and click on message. Tell us your do's and don'ts. Tell us about something we've missed or that you think we should have talked about instead. Or just give us your opinion. That's at anchor.fm/Festpod. Just click on message. Next up, we'll look back on some of our memories of download in The Legend. In this section, we'll look back on some of our memories of downloads gone by. And download really is a place where you make a lot of memories because you see all sorts. In 2013, which is my first download visit, I saw someone getting pushed over in a portable toilet, and he emerged looking like a great big shit monster.
Oh,
he
Christ.
wasn't happy.
No, can you imagine?
Because the thing is, you go into one of those portaloos and you think you're safe, but not from pissheads who want to see what happens. I'm glad it wasn't me. That's all I can say. He was not happy, and nobody would go near him.
I don't blame them. I assume he didn't smell too good.
No. Oh, and then you've got to try and get in the showers and queue for the showers, all covered in other people's shit.
Well, I've got a similar memory, but it's not actually my memory. I saw it on YouTube like a few days after the festival, but it kind of sums up the great feeling of download, and it was during Nightwish in 2016, obviously with the torrential rain and everything, and there was a massive mud puddle that everyone had avoided apart from one single person in their Mac, just like dancing like their life depended on it to Nightwish, and they were just loving life. Like not a care in the world.
That's you end up like that, don't you, I suppose?
Yeah, I think once you're that wet and muddy, you can't get any more wet and muddy, so you just kind of live with it.
Yeah, I've seen people dive bombing into the mud puddles.
Yeah, saw a few of them
on their front. You think, oh my god. Lee, what's your memory of download gone by?
My memory is from the big 3 hour set of Guns N' Roses. I must have wandered off from yourself, Neil. And as I was walking up to the loo, I believe, I bumped into Andy Coppin, the hooker for download. And I sort of just almost shouted at him like, Andy! He stopped, said hello. I was like, can I get a picture? Yeah, fine. Took a picture. Says, oh, I like your t-shirt. Six are a great band. And as like a starstruck idiot. I went, I'm wearing this shirt. It's because of you. I went and saw them in February in a really small gig in Reading, but it's because of you that I'm seeing them. Oh, lovely. He says, have a good festival.
Aw. What a nice bloke.
Oh, he is. I think that's the second time I've been in his company. I have met him before. Obviously, he meets so many people, he's not going to recognise me, so I'm not really bothered. But yeah, I mean, that little instance of meeting him and being so willing to, because I imagine he gets it all the time.
Yeah.
People know him, and people are going to want to take the picture. So it was really quite nice for him to just stop, try and have a little conversation, and then went off on his merry way.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice memory of Download.
Yeah.
And do you know why he wears that hat? Do you know why?
I think he wore it once, and then all of a sudden that was it. That was almost his trademark. Or have I got that wrong?
I saw an interview that he did online quite recently, and he wears the hat because no one can ever get him on the radio for some reason. He has trouble using the radios. So whoever wants him just shouts, "Has anybody seen anyone in a hat, like the big hat, the hat guy?" And they managed to get hold of him somehow like that. That's what I heard. Anyway.
I think that's fair enough.
So that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for listening to the first episode of Festpod. We'll see you on the socials. Just look for Festpod. And don't forget to send us a voice message by going to anchor.fm/Festpod and clicking on message. Tell us what you think of the show, ask our advice about going to the festival, or give us your memories of your time at Download. That's at anchor.fm/Festpod and just click on message. So that's it. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
A Wilco Productions podcast. A great big shit monster.